Mishle, Proverbs chapter 31. The words of sovereign Lemuel, a message which his mother taught him. What, my chosen? And what chosen of my womb? And what chosen of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to wiping away sovereigns. Not for sovereigns, O Lemuel, not for sovereigns to drink wine, nor for princes to desire strong drink, lest they drink and forget what is inscribed, and pervert the right of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those embittered in being. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his trouble no more. Open your mouth for the dumb, in the cause of all the sons of the departed. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Who does find a capable wife? For she is worth far more than rubies. The heart of her husband shall trust her, and he has no lack of gain. She shall do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She shall seek wool and flax, and with delight she works with her hands. She shall be as the ships of Tarshish. She brings in her food from afar. She also rises while it is still night, and provides food for her household, and what is lawful for her girls. She shall consider a field and buy it. From her profits she shall plant a vineyard. She shall gird herself with strength and strengthen her arms. She shall taste when her gain is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. She shall stretch out her hands to the distaff, and her hand shall hold the spindle. She shall extend her hand to the poor, and she shall reach out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is dressed in scarlet. She shall make tapestry for herself. She is dressed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. She shall make fine linen and sell them, and shall give girdles for the merchants. Strength and splendor are her garments, and she rejoices in time to come. She shall open her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the Torah of loving commitment. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children shall rise up and call her blessed, her husband too, and he praises her. Many daughters have done nobly, but you have risen over them all. Loveliness is deceptive, and prettiness is vain. A woman who fears Yahweh is to be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates.
Oh, that's awesome. Shalom, shalom, my brother. Hallelujah. That's awesome. That is
Praise
awesome.
God.
That is so awesome. Oh man, what a time, what a time, what a time. I guess I am excited about we have going through all of this month, right? We was doing 31 days, right? We made it at the end. So we did a chapter a day for 31 days of Proverbs, and this is where we find ourselves. And at the end of this, and this should be the last reading, and then I am excited to see when we go forth on the Shabbat to see who did that, right? A chapter a day for every for every day. It didn't have to catch up and all those good things. But if you are a finisher, you are a winner. Is that right? You're a finisher, you are a winner. And truly, those of you that might have got on board with us, that it may not be at the assembly, but you have decided that that's something that you wanted to join us with. And if you made it through all of that, congratulations, you are a finisher in that. So you still got some time though, right? If you the day has not done, so you could get in there and be a finisher here in chapter 31 and get right in there. It has been we're not going to read Proverbs and then push it to the side, but we're going to let that be we're going to marinate it all the way through, right? All the way through to the next time. So that's one thing we won't say that we finish far as the reading's concerned, but that we have placed those things in our heart, because you can just read, right? And sometimes I do what they can't. They do, brother, call it scan reading. I think I know. I put words in there and all those good things, and that's not really what the person said. That my wife sent me a text one time, brother. And I said, I thought I had read it. Did she? She just said it gracefully. She said, "Did you read the text?" Because I'm responding to the text, and I thought I knew what it said. I thought I knew she was going, but it's amazing. I know that don't happen to any of you, but it's amazing that I didn't. It didn't. I didn't really read it. So what I did was I maybe started the sentence and kind of thought about what maybe to filled in the rest of it, and then at the end of that thing, I find out that that wasn't so. So we kind of laugh and laugh about that, but that's something that really really can be done. So what one of the things we want to do is put these seeds of wisdom. And I understand, I go ahead and get the elephant out of the room real quick. I understand that this is poems, and I think we was talking about that earlier. I understand that this is wisdom, but this is a wisdom from a man of Yah, and you must understand that. And we know how he obtained that. It wasn't through his own skillfulness, but it was the meditation of the things of the Father and those life giving things, And so many a times that this one of the things that we want to do on tonight, we want to celebrate our wives, our women. We want to celebrate them. So many times they don't get celebrated, or they get put in a place that maybe, just maybe, the Most High did not want them there, and so we, as sometimes as men, we do that, but we're going to celebrate them tonight. So if you are a person that against women, or you don't want them to be their best, this might not be the best time for you to go through this. You could be miserable. You could be miserable, because we're going to talk about this. I understand. So I just get it right out 31. You can look at it, and some has encapsulated and said, "Hey, this is wisdom." Well, we're going to open it up, but we must understand that even if it was totally so, we're going to take this out. In here, it says some husbands, right? And I think, my brother, you had brought out some good things, even when you start, of how you look at your mother, and so how that start. So all of that. So how the road that you want to go, well and fine. So it's no great revelation. No need for the email. I understand what this is, but we are going to lift up our wives. And when I say our wives, I'm talking about not only our wives, but wives in covenant, right? Wives in covenant, because it is very, very important. When you come, if you come from from the nations, or if you come into the covenant and you have already experienced the way that the women are in the nations, coming into the covenant, you could be really, really confused about how to operate the way that the Most High desires. Now, when we connect ourselves to the things of the Father, we have to realize that he desires for us in a certain way, because he is the creator of the universe. So he has done this a certain way. He did not make a mistake. He did not falter. But when he created that, all things was what? Good, my brother. Is that right? It was good. And so those are the things that we are looking at. We're looking at our women, and we will go back and forth as wives, as good. That's how we look at them. They're not a burden to us, right? But they are good. And so this is where we are going. And yes, we can't say everything, but this focus of 31. And then most times of this year, I'm trying to maybe do things in twos. And when I say that, is maybe we'll have a part two, even though we won't be in 31, and this challenge of Proverbs has ended. But we may deal with this again, and there's so much there. So much there, And so sometimes when you come over, when you come over, say if you come to the assembly or whatever, there is a way that the wives and the women have already dedicated themselves to the Most High, right? And so sometimes it could be difficult because your ideas or your thought process your worldview may not be the same as those that you not only our community but other communities and the community of Israel as a whole, right? And so sometimes it could look, oh, it could look that somehow they can seem, oh, they oppressing or they this or they that. The only thing that we can really, because sometimes each tribe or each community, let's put it that way, may have a different twist on what they desire out of their wives and the women. But we can say one thing that it's not sometimes what I say, I just use me, may not be lining up with really what the father desires for, we'll say the women, since we're talking about that, right? And so I even must get in line with him because I could have as a man, some weird ideas of what a woman should be. So when I look at Torah, though, right, and I'm not talking about the side issues of Torah, I'm talking about Torah. When I look at that, then if I look at that and I say that, okay, I was not treating my wife the way that I should, right? I was not loving her the way that I should. It says it tells the husband to love your wife. Now, of course, then I will build on what is that all about, right? So that's what we are trying to do is we are trying to get what is valuable to us. And so it has to be discovered in our wives or our women, right? They have to be discovered, right? They are there. There are jewels for us. Hallelujah. They are jewels. And we have to discover some of those things. So, an honorable wife, right? But you have to want to be an honorable woman in order to be an honorable wife, in that. And so, what we have and what we understand is yes, those jewels that's in there have to be discovered. And so as a husband, then I have to bring them out of her, right? I have to search, many times we have to search those jewels to see what they are. And I tell you what, my life has benefited from the jewels that even my own wife has stored up in her own life, right? And so I'm still picking, even after 43, I think. 43, I think I'm in the house somewhere there. After all, don't you know, it's still some good jewels that's in there. In that. So, those of you, again, if you want to understand in these teaching, you know what I say too. I don't know how long this will go, and maybe we'll talk, and maybe I can somehow maybe persuade, maybe get my wife to come and join us and those good things, and maybe we could even talk about those marriage. Maybe maybe we can influence and try to encourage her to do so, right? But again, some of those things I know that we need. And I want you to know that no matter where you at, or if you're married, or if you desire, because the women will desire to be with their husband, and even if you have that desire like that, this is something that will maybe can benefit you. And so we are going to talk tonight, and my brother from a more younger to a younger, youngest, we'll get a picture of that. And I'm so glad that he's here. He's here to really bring the whole picture of somebody that's even at a younger age and those things. So we'll try to get in that. Now, one thing about it is we'll look a little bit about this viable, honorable woman, and some, in I think the King James say virtuous woman a lot. In that, some may say noble, somebody that is capable. Hallelujah! Oh man, that just gets me excited just knowing that. just knowing that. And if you have experienced those things, because it's nothing like, many times we even said in our proverbs that a contentious, that's one of the things that came up, woman and all that. Well, I tell you, when you got somebody honorable and you got somebody loving and caring for you, it's nothing like it. As somebody would say, you'll go to the ends of the earth for that, in that. And so, brother, I'm going to let you get on and jump in there. And I know, some of the things that we were saying, I think it was good that you was, when I had called you on the way to your house, and we had to stop because we was going real good. But just the heart of that, maybe you can rehash that, and that everybody can enjoy those things.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, brother.
Praise Yah. Thank you for having me on here. And wow, I like what you said earlier. I really do. There's so much that could be said about, like you said, this chapter. And unfortunately, um, it could even be defaming, but it's not supposed to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, like what you said to bring out what we were talking about earlier. After we had to press pause. The heat
Proverbs
was
chapter
going.
31. The
I'm
words
sorry.
of sovereign Lemuel,
Uh-oh.
a
Oh, I guess
message
we're
which
gonna get
his
a
mother
double
taught
double
him.
portion.
Yeah, I
What,
think I
my
put something
chosen,
wrong here. Let's
and what
try
shall
it again here. Uh-oh. Did I lose
No,
you? Oh, okay, hold on.
no, no, sir.
Let
I'm
me,
just on the bottom there.
you on the we'll put you on the bottom, huh?
Oh, all right, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm a
you
whole other
single.
Christian.
You see, yeah, you're single by yourself. Yeah. Uh, so I'm
Praise
just
you.
trying to. That's when you see me looking down and stuff. Maybe even those that see me doing. I'm trying to work the switcher and all that. So my mind is
Yes.
busy and I'm doing different things. So it's not a lack of listening to my brother. Any of you that's in the chat group or anything. So sorry about that, brother. But go ahead. We have those moments.
All is well. I praise you. It's the live effect. This is how it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. There you go.
But I agree with you right there towards the end of what you said. If we even just, I think down there at the bottom, just on that last bit you said, it was really good. So I think it said that it was verse 28, that her
Oh,
husband
you
shall
look
call
okay.
her
Mm-hmm.
blessed. No, I
Mm-hmm.
just when you said that, it's like, okay, well, who's the husband of wisdom? But whatever.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. In that sense, yeah, right, right. Because those that are way, they say those things, and sometimes we can say things that, and even if it was so, but who can find this capable? It was
Yes.
challenging because I think I explained to you that I even read somewhere where they were saying like there's no woman that can stack up to this, so it has to be wisdom. Well, don't make that now, because some women can, they may not be this exact, but this is what we are going for. So that's the reason somebody looked at this one day and said, "Man, this could be this woman at the gate." You understand? And so sometimes they tied in with Torah, a different thing. But I just like to get that out there because that way they say they think they teaching you something, right?
Yes, sir. It's some great secret, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just even in something that jumped out. I mean, we've been reading this for years, and it's always
Yes,
been a great meditation. Like you said, it's a seed, but as we
yeah.
know, little plants get bigger. So when it comes down to verse 1, you could really break that down. In the Hebrew, it could be translated a couple different ways, where it
Mm-hmm.
says the words of sovereign Lemuel, a message. Some would say an oracle.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Some
yes.
would say one even said prophecy, which his mother taught him. So I just thought that was very key to bring out. You can't really confuse that in Hebrew. It does say his mother, and it does say taught. That she instructed him. So I just thought that was awesome in that sense that here we are. This is a son reminiscing on all the wonderful things his mother showed him. and taught him. And given she became the example, I can't even speak,
Yeah.
the example
Yeah.
of what you said, this virtuous, this overcoming woman. That's how it sounds to me. He's like,
Yes. Yes.
here's this superior woman. And I think even in one verse it says, many have excelled. So it even was comparing her to other women. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
among other women, it was saying that, many have done great, but this one is verse 29. This one
Okay.
has risen above them all.
Mm-hmm.
It says,
Mm-hmm.
many daughters have done nobly,
No. Uh
but
huh.
you have risen over all. And I believe this is a particular. It's making it particular. This particular woman who does these things, she's an overcomer among women. And I just know what it's like because I got one of these wonderful women in my
Well,
life.
hallelujah.
So
Hallelujah.
when they talk about that she is up, I mean, multiple times the king here is saying at night when I was, resting, my mother or this virtuous woman here, she is up doing wonderful things. She's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
preparing things for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd say one of them, if I could speak to it just personally in my life, one of my favorite ones is that her household is not afraid for winter. I'll tell you what. You want to
Uh-huh.
talk about
Which verse is that?
that is verse. Let me grab it.
Okay. Well, we
Um,
know it's in there, but
yes. Oh my goodness. I know I had it highlighted. I thought it is her household is not afraid. Verse 21.
21. Okay. I
Yes,
must have
she
went
is not
right past it.
afraid of snow for
Snow.
her
Yeah.
house.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I put the citizen of winter in there. But the reason why I did that is because I know, well, I've learned from my wife that you buy your winter clothes in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Uh-huh.
But there's something she's always prepared for. I'm like, why are you buying this? And then winter comes, I'm like, oh,
Yes. Yes.
I just love that.
Yes.
And I brought that out particularly because it brought it out and says they were dressed. Of course, it added the fine material of scarlet there. But I'm thinking, in our modern age, you need what you need. You buy a coat in the winter. A winter coat
Mm-hmm.
in the winter is going to cost you.
Yeah.
But you get it out of season, it's going to do you good. And I mean that all in that sense that this woman is prepared. And not only she's not prepared in some, how can I say, some vain way, she's thinking ahead. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes.
sometimes, people, it's very easy to attack the woman on a lot of things, but the preparation and the care is on another level.
Oh,
As a
another
man,
level.
I don't even know how to conceive it. I don't even know where to begin. You want to talk about love, you want to talk about compassion, detail of love. I think even something my brother and I were laughing about. I could even say this chair I'm sitting in. I just said I liked it. That's it. I walked through the store. I was like, oh, I like that chair. Who would have
Mm-hmm.
known it was going to be at my house? That's a whole nother level of love right
Oh
there.
man, yeah, yes, that
That's a
is.
whole nother
I'm gonna see if that work, man. I need to go. I'm gonna get on Amazon and
Oh,
yeah.
you got to be careful for it.
Got to be
Don't,
careful.
because you're going to find all your favorite trinkets, things you would like.
Yeah, yeah. Hallelujah.
Um,
Yes.
but I just know, and I said that because I think it's in Genesis chapter 2, where it
Mm-hmm.
says that the father brought the woman to the man.
Yes. Yes.
Out of all the things he made, it puts it up there as a gift. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I always tell my wife that I think she had it in her car at one point in time that she is the greatest gift Yah's ever given me.
Oh
Because
man.
without her, I'm just a man. But with her,
Yes.
the Father has made me a father. I have
Mm-hmm.
children.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yes.
house is now a home.
Yes.
I have this love in my heart that couldn't have been nurtured without the fertile soil of my wife. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what is a man apart from a woman? And all of us came here through a woman. The
Yes.
only
Yes.
one that say that is Adam. So, sorry to bust some bubbles, but how'd you get here? But I'm
Yeah.
just grateful, and I really know that the example of this overcoming woman here in Mishle 31 is a standard, so that a righteous man recognizes a righteous woman, and then a
Hmm.
righteous woman aspires to be even more righteous.
Absolutely, and yeah, you said a lot right there, and I think that it is important to know that to when you embrace and have that honorable, valuable woman is so important, and I think when you said that that the Most High brought her to the what a gift, what a gift. I mean, that was a powerful gift, because that we wasn't compatible to anything else, right? And so I always use that terminology that I like to say, he went and he built her. He just, with us, he just kind of got some dirt. This is what this is me, and they got a little dust. It's really dust. But he went and built her. Yeah, he built her. So I am grateful for that. That I know that I don't have to have a doubt whether the woman is a gift, and so in that process, from day one, even your girls, they have to know that they are a gift to some man out there. They will be precious, right? And they will carry things, like you said, that no one else can do, right? In that, and they are little portals to bringing others through, and so grateful for that. It is something
Praise
that
God.
yeah, grateful for that. And in the process, in that, you have to understand that, like you said, the preparation and all of the things that women can do, and that's what we need to make this thing function. I see a lot of dysfunction all the way around us, and that's what makes it, these ideas, and these ideas come from a woman, because they really don't know what sometimes I like to use this, everybody uses this, but really what their purpose is. And I say that lightly, because sometimes it becomes a buzzword. I call them buzzwords, right? I need to do a whole book just on buzzwords. It becomes something. Other word of buzzwords to me, this is my definition of that, is something that everyone says, and then sometimes it loses its meaning, right? It loses something, right? And then sometimes it's totally taken out of context to the thing that it just could mean anything, right? Anything that it was. And like you were saying, even in some of the things like 21, and she is not not 21. I want to do for that's what you said. 23. Her husband is known in the gates, right? And we you was looking at some gates here earlier, and you were studying some of that. So yes, you could turn this into Torah or whatever, but right, turn it into that, should I say? But what we are trying to do is bring it out that somehow you got a husband that is in the gates, and yet that he's known among the land. I tell you, it's nothing like you could have a prize when you have a good, respectful woman, in the neighborhood. We'll bring it up to the day, even our neighborhoods or whatever. We know when I was growing up, I always use me. When I was growing up, you knew who the respectable young ladies was and those that wasn't. Now you know that. So be honest with yourself. Men know that. A lot of things women don't know that men talk about. Sometimes I used to tell my wife and stuff, and tell others that they don't even know the men thinking, the way that they think about other women, right? And what they will marry and what they won't marry. So a lot of times, you have to. So a man has to come along in order to teach his wife, and then his wife will teach the women on how to do that, from the way that you dress on down, and everybody may have a different idea, but we trying to get the ideas and the things of the Most High, in that, and what's precious, what's loving, what's kind, all of that, and then like you said, that they have to bring up the children. So in that, you want them to be at their best, right? You want them to be at their best, And I tell you, it's nothing like a prize woman. I mean, we putting them up there, no matter what it is. And so that's what I'm saying here. That someone had discovered going through this. That man, this is a awesome situation on the character of the woman, and the transformation. So, like I said, is you can have a lot of ideas on what a woman should be, and then you would say the woman right, the women this, the woman that. I need this, and so you would find out that you can succeed and excel in the things of the things that the Father desires. The Father desires in that. And truly, a man will pull out his heart and do anything that he'll give his life for his wife. He'll give his life for that. And that's the reason so many times that the heart of the woman is open when it comes to the things of the Father, because they know what to do. I think you said it best. They know what to do. They know how to do this. This is the reason so many women will cling to the things of the Most High, and the man will be on the outside, because we have this thing about, okay, I need to prove this. Can you do that? Can you do it? It's tough sometimes for us to surrender to the things of the Father. And I always say that even in our scriptures, it tells us that we are presenting ourselves as brides. Sometimes man can't see that, right? And I'm only saying this as in the sense that he is the husbandman, right? And so we are presenting ourselves like that. So sometimes it's tough for us. That's the reason when you go different places, you may see in what we would say more women. They had one time, they said, well, why is it more women that give themselves? Or when I go somewhere, it's always more women than it is men. Women are open and they receive, right? They receive that thing and they get it and they know how to do it. They know what to do with it. We're just stubborn. We it's just the bottom line, right? It's more difficult for us to do that, in that sometimes to surrender to the things of the Father. It's more easier for them to do so. And I think that, I'm not saying that's the all in all. And I'm not saying, you could probably throw that out the window. But what I have observed over a 30 plus years, 40, well, 30 plus years actually. And so all of those things there, you can see that, you can see that the desire. And even even you, brother, when you talk to other brethren and stuff like that, sometimes it could be so much of a pull. And sometimes these women of Yah, they don't need the so much of the all of the I's dotted. They would be able to surrender and give their heart and then learn. And as they learn, they grow. They grow into it, and now they understand. Well, man, sometimes you have to tell him everything right up front. He got to get it right up front. Not always, but sometimes, right? And so these are the things that I'm saying that to build on and to have that, you want a woman that loves the Father. That's what you want. And then if you can get that, that's a good starting point, and then you can build from there. But if she does not love the Father, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble in that. So that's something that, we need to make sure that we put in our heart, because if we don't, it's gonna be something. She shall open her mouth with wisdom. That's for where was I at? She should open her mouth. I didn't hit it. I didn't lose. Yeah, open her 26 with wisdom, and on her tongue is the Torah of kindness. Now, like I said again, when she opens her mouth, right? Because she's teaching that, and she is in a role. Now there's so many things that goes out today that we really don't know what to do. And when I say we, I'm talking about sometimes the women does not know what to do. You have to build on this. You have to build on this. So it has to be something that really discovers, and the well mature women should be teaching the younger women how to love their husband, right? You have to be taught that, because we are very difficult. So yeah, we say no. I know we've been through this before. In that. So that's something that I am grateful for, in that, because to discover, to have that, and to grow into, over the years, to grow into this, you have to grow into it, and I tell you that we have to lift our women up again, right? Because there's so many other voices out there that's taking them down roads of destruction. Did you hear what I'm saying to you? Roads of destruction. And they are, little by little, they just destroying them. They destroying their minds. And when they destroy their minds, then they destroy their hearts. It's a connection there. And then they destroy their life. And so anything else that they can bring into the world, they destroying those things. It is a total confusion. That's what's going on. But you can find safety in the things of the Father. Safety in that. Is anything else you want to jump in there, brother, and add to it?
Uh, that the tour of the loving commitment on her tongue, that one right there, just, I mean, there's a few times where it says listen to the voice of your wife. I guess we overlooked that, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so there was another thing that I recently learned here, and from about verse 11, verse 10, I think, in the English, from verse 10 all the way down to the end of the chapter. Sometimes in Hebrew, it'll start making a like it'll be a verse, and every first letter of the verse will line up with a letter from the Hebrew alphabet, from
Oh,
Aleph to Tav. And that from 11 down, I love it because that's how it's broken down. I mean 10 down. And one of my favorite Hebrew words is batach, and it means to trust. It also means to rely. So in verse 11, it says, the heart of her husband shall trust her. It
hallelujah.
says, you could even say, he shall rely on her, and he has no lack of gain. And I'll tell you what, that is one of the greatest securities a man can have, is the trust for his wife. It is amazing. It's amazing. There is so much can be done, like you said earlier. Us men, like, we can make it so complicated. We'll have a whole conversation about the single tree in the forest and overlook every other beautiful thing in the woods. Versus when we think about the landscape of it, the woman's comprehending it and taking it all in. Thinking about all the little things, sometimes we can get stuck. But one of the things that I believe everyone should have and be able to really take delight in is the trust in a righteous and an overcoming woman. Because, like it says in the next awesome verse, the way it's translated in 12 is awesome. She shall do him good and not evil.
Yes, hallelujah.
That's it. I'm telling you, if that's not your life experience, then it's something you should start fertilizing and cultivating, because that garden will bear fruit. And the reality of that is, as a man, that's no one can be closer to you than your wife. I think it even says that she was the original woman was formed from the rib of a man. So I don't know how much closer you can get there, right here, But the reality is, what I learned, what people say is, you only turn your back to those you trust. And the reality is, you should be able to stand back to back with your wife. And that's the picture I always get when I think about things like this, that you can, she's got your back, and you've got hers, and that she's not going to do you evil. And it's just amazing for you to have that level of security in your life as a husband, and especially in the world today. You really want to know, for one, you need to be trustworthy as a man, and then also, because you have value, she sees the value in you and returns likewise. And it's just awesome. There is I say, if there was one other thing that really grabbed me, is verse 16, because I think it ties in with the trust factor. It says, she shall consider a field and buy it. and from her profits she shall plant a vineyard. And this right here, it lined up with me with that preparation, understanding, sometimes seeing 2 steps ahead, if you will. But it takes a lot of security and trust in a relationship to be able to make a decision like this. I can say I'm one who's reaped from those benefits, because my home is something my wife pursued. And I'm so grateful that her diligence and her research led to us finding such a wonderful place. So when it came down to us knowing that this was the right place, I had no doubt because of everything she had put into her process and everything she
Good,
had
good. Hmm.
researched, all the work she had put into it, and lots of times, just dealing with our realtor, and it was a drawn out process. Anyone who's ever got a house or anything, it was our first house, by the way, so it was definitely a really big jump, from the renters world to here. But I said that in the sense that it takes for her to be able to consider something and purchase it, and then there's something left over from her profits, she's able to do more. That is an amazing thing. And I know that, from my personal experience, that this is a reality. This isn't just some metaphor. This is real.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah.
This is something I think a lot
Yeah.
of people can express that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. I just said, yeah. What wisdom?
Yes,
Yeah. What
yes.
wisdom?
Yeah, and oh man, and it's just good. It's just good to know that this example for men and women, because there should be a Proverbs 31 man next to this woman.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. And I
so
think you could draw the same line in that.
yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Yes, absolutely. I think that you can run it, both ways if you were to turn it around in that without doing damage in that because I think me and you discussing that we all listen that one time in our culture, that's how we would teach things and hold on to things is in Proverbs, right? I think every nation or every tongue has a proverb, a community that you can think of, right? And also in that, also we had this week we needed to do one proverb. We had a whole week to do at least one proverb, right? In our community, and maybe next week, maybe I put some, maybe we'll have something on that someone had come up with. I just randomly would draw something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that before we end the night. But one of the things is something that is in your heart. We can recognize those things, right? We can recognize that. So yes, my brother, I think that when you said that, and then when you was talking about, I think it was verse 11 that you was saying about that, and then what we was saying earlier in Genesis chapter 2, and Yahweh Elohim said, and this is, oh man, this is good right here. It is not good. He already knew. He already knows. So sometimes we say, "Oh, this is wisdom." Or, "Oh, that's talking about the what." He said, "It is not good for man to be alone." And then I'm glad he did not leave it there. I'm so glad, my brother. We don't have to, worry about it or fight about it. He said that's not a good thing because everything that I create, everything that I put it to is good, right? That's what he put it on. Everything in the creation, he said, is good. He said, I am going to make. I am. And so sometimes as men and those of us that have said, man, I want to be married as a man. I'm talking to a man now. I want to be married or whatever, that's the thing to me. Because men, when they find a lovely woman, right? When they find this jewel, when they find this virtuous woman, when they find this companion, we'll realize that that's the one because it is not good. And so that's something that I could put before the Most High and said, I need that woman, not what my desires, not what the world has put that I need, but you understand. I would understand that you said that I should not be alone, right? That is not a good thing. I want things to be complete. So if I want something to be complete, then I need that jewel that's out there that I need to discover. And he said, I'm going to make a helper for him as his counterpart. right? Oh man, it is good. It's a good thing to have that. And so yes, like you said, my brother, we can really get into that. And I think 18, and she tastes when her gain is good. Her lamp all night long. She just it's just I can relate, and I think sometimes when people do this, they can relate. Even if I didn't have it in my own home, I seen it in others. And I tell you what's really a bright light is when you see other women, since we are talking about this, other women and other wives portray themselves in such a way, you know. I tell you, it's nothing like that. Sometimes in my idiom or whatever, we say, that stallion that you have, that beauty that you have, and there's nothing like that. And it doesn't, and we can maybe get into some more scriptures in that, but truly we know that when you go even in, let me see, even when you think about that is I think it was in 12, what I'm thinking, oh man, where I want to go. That to go to Proverbs. I think it was not Psalms, not Psalms. I hit the wrong button there, my brother. Not Psalm, but Proverbs. I think is what I want. I think it's in 12. We had read that a while back. Getting a little patience here while things catch up. Oh, I think it was 12, and it's like a crown. I think it was. I think it's where it's at. We'll see, won't we?
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah,
12
capable.
in chapter 4.
Yeah, there
I
you
mean,
go.
chapter 12, verse 4.
Hey, a capable wife, listen, is a crown
Yes.
of her husband, right? So, when you have a wife, and then, like I say, some of that, somewhere down the maybe this year, somewhere we're gonna kind of hit this marriage thing because sometimes I guess I'm not gonna tell all the men's secrets, but I tell you what, that sometimes women don't know that men understands who the crown is for that when you have a wife,
Yes.
yeah, that's not in the things that she should be doing. The men know, and I mean the women probably talk, but the men also know. But I tell you what, when you have a wife that wears that crown of a husband, the men know, and we will respect that, won't we? We will respect that, we don't covet that or nothing else, but we respect that and we understand that, right? In that, and then oh man, what oh man. And so I am so grateful for those things. I'm grateful for those, and all of the things that carries through as a woman. So that's the reason, the preparation period. Sometimes we have this before the Shabbat, we have that day of preparation, we getting things set. So if you're not married, then you are in a place and in your life that you in preparation to receive, right? Your husband, all the things that you are doing now, you are building. So, I'm using this. This is something that I'm using. It's just like when the father took it and said that he's gonna make that helper, then that companion, that one that we need, then he went and built her. And I'm saying that again. That's my language. He built her. So you are being built now if you're not married, right? You are being built. You are being built for that man that yet finds you, you know. And then when he finds you, he's gonna know right away. But I tell you what, there is when a man sees those qualities without a question mark. The problem sometimes we see men see it and then they have question marks though. If you give them the question marks, then they have a hesitation, But once that man see the quality of what he got, and I'm talking about covenant, maybe I should have said this before, and I'm saying this, those of you who are not in covenant with the Most High, you won't understand this, you under a different system. This system of the things of serving the Father, wives are under a covenant with Him. Therefore, we obey what He says. Men, we obey what the Father says. So that's how so we are not all over the place how we treat our wives. And the wives are not all over the place how they treat their husbands, because the Father has already told us how to do that. And then our culture will help us to redefine and define what we need to do. Because when I say that, I only say that in the fact that, times change, and the things that, different things, from we went from ice box to refrigerators. Times change, right? So I can't teach you to go down to, make sure you get a block of ice for our ice box, when, for the most part, we don't have ice box no more. We have refrigerators. So that's when I say change or redefine and the culture. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the mess that goes on. I'm talking about things like that. But no matter what times or what inventions that man has had, the word of Yah never changes, my brother. Right? It never changes for what a woman should be. It never changes what a man should be, and how they should carry themselves, and how we should bring it about. That's not going to change. So it was good for a capable wife then, that the Father did, and is good for now. So men, that the same thing,
Yeah.
men desire that. I mean, that's the best gift that is in this whole earth, right? You can get you a dog, you can get you a cow, you can have all of that. But until you get that woman, you'll really be satisfied. You've been to a lot of things. You could be on the fishing bank, right? You could be the love of the fisherman. But I tell you what, if you get you a woman, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it to have that, in that. So, and that's the thing, is to grow together, to be together. And the women are awesome, right? They need to understand that, and we can get more into that. The awesomeness is the awesomeness of your heart, those things that your heart, and they like to look beautiful, they like to smell good, they like to look good, right? And what I like about it is they are pure, they are pure. Women are Yah pure. Now, sometimes you come from the nations, you have to have a transformation. And that's with any of us, right? In our life, the men too, right? But we were talking about women, but the men have to have, because they have a wrong thinking about women too when you come from the nation, when you come from that. So in reception of, you have to be retrained in that, So it is a process, because one of the things you don't do, though, if you have a assembly or whatever, maybe speaking more to leaders now, you just don't let them in like that, right? Just don't, you have to be able, there has to be a transformation, right? There has to be a transformation. So you have to be able to accept the ideas of the culture community as well as Torah, right? Because they go together. You can't separate it. And we need one another in that. We need our women. We need them, right? We need our children. There's life in that, in having children's, there's youthfulness in that, And so we need that, grandparents and all of that. We need those things. Those are things, and those things are good. Those things are good, right? But we have to prepare ourselves and be willing to do that in that. All right, brother, I let you jump back in there.
Praise Yah. Yes, sir. You done said it. You done said it.
Yeah,
And I'm just grateful.
absolutely, and I think that those women that is preparing our heart is nothing, and it's nothing like a man that loved the Most High. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. I know that we go through all the little different little side things, but there's nothing like it, and sometimes maybe men don't always express that what they should, but there's nothing like it. And I tell you like that, if I think back, and so those of you that are even married and may be listening to this, just think back. If you took your wife out of the situation, where would you be?
Woo wee.
I didn't say I can do it on. I didn't say that. I said if you took her out, where would you be though? right? If you didn't have that in your life, if you didn't have her in your life, where would you be, right? And then if she's not in your life any longer, how do you feel, right? How do you
Yeah.
feel? Was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? Circumstances, things happen, and all in between, right? But this woman here, that is a something that every young woman should strive for, right? They should
Yes,
strive
sir.
for that, to have those things, to be together, and to want to do that, to want to. It seems like sometimes the echo is that you want to build everything else but a family, right? You want to build everything else. You you want to build a company. You want to build that. You want to be, and I'm not say against all that. I don't want to open that up, right? I'm not saying that. It's so much more that you can say, but I will say this is. I think sometimes our focus had, well, I know our focus had got off of what it is, and I think sometimes it's at a point now that it's gonna be it's at a point that it won't turn around, but those that are coming up, we can put into them and instill in them what the Most High desires, right? Because it'll always be out there in that. And so that's one thing that the Most High told us as men to don't desire those strange women, right?
Oh
With
yes.
those strange ideas, right? And all
Oh
of that.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's something that we have a desire that we need to know that we would not do. Let me see here. I had a note in that just talking about. I think it was her strength or something.
Oh yeah, that's in there about her hands.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. I saw that one as well. It was really good. I felt like it lined up a lot with the verse 31 as well. Um, but just while you're looking for it, I was going to comment
Yeah.
on what you said.
Uh
You
huh.
had said that was it worth it? Oh man, that's a powerful statement.
Oh yes.
Um, and to know all the righteous women I know now, um, people there's a verse that says seek it while it can be found, of that nature. So that means the good things are available now. You don't have to use that whole hindsight is 2020 or whatever people try to say to
But
justify their decisions.
right, right.
But, but if you have the treasure of a woman in your life, some women, they even take on their husband's name. But if you
Mm-hmm.
have that in your life, she is the treasure, you know, and you need to value it now. It's not something that needs to be overlooked, so that when you look back in your old days, you hitting everybody with the shoulda, woulda, couldas. Oh, if I would have, I spent so much time at the office with the boys, whatever you were doing. And yeah, take your time, whatever you had to do. But I'll tell you what, there's someone that's closer to you than your shadow. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't recognize her now, you will be bitter. You will be bitter in your old age. And I know that um, I tell my wife that all the time. Every day when I walk out the door, I say I leave. I do this thing. We got to do for the family, the work thing, the toil in the field, like you said, by the sweat of your brow.
Mm-hmm.
But I do it to come back. That's the point.
Hallelujah. Yeah. That's good, my brother. That's good. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I desired anything more than I want to be here, that would be a problem in my heart. Now, I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but my family and the family that came here through my wonderful wife, I like how you said portal. That was awesome. But the door the Father gave me, I'm not gonna overlook it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. And so it's vital that we know what to look for. And so I think sometimes we should teach our young men what to look for too as well, right? And that is very, very important in that. What is it that we're looking for, so we're looking for those modest, we'll use our words today, that modest woman, And it's not so much of something that is costly on the outward, and then because an appearance is everything, and then one thing I just want to drop. I guess see if I open this up, this can go all over the place, but maybe we can pick it up in two. You have to understand my heart and understand what I'm saying here, right? You really have to understand this. It is very, very important that maybe, just maybe, women need to understand how the man thinks, right? Not so much of the comparing yourself in this sense to the other women, and I'm talking about maybe styles, different things, what a man wants and what he desires is maybe not all men. Now don't do that to me, but what I'm saying is say covenant men are men would want when they see, so let's take in it said the braiding of the hair or whatever. Let's go up to modern times here. When I say modern, I'm talking about the present times here. One of the things is if I want to the hair, we'll just use hair, right? All things being equal, if you have the hair, most men want the hair, the woman's hair, right? The natural that grows. No matter what the length is, men desire that, right? And so when we attach things to it or do things to it, then that's something that is a style, or that's something that is known among us, right? But most times we know that even most times that the woman, if they cover their hair, you didn't know. Even my own wife, I didn't know her hair had got that long that it did, right? Because most times she would either have it covered or whatever, and then to take a moment out to look at that, but it's nothing like knowing what you are receiving when you do get married, And I see a lot of things in the nation today, you don't know what's out there, right? That's not what you're receiving. I need to know what I'm receiving. You know what I mean? If your ears are that big, I need to know that they be that big. You know what I'm saying? If your nose, I need to know that. I need to know the real color, the beauty of your skin. Right? I need to know the beauty. And you say I got blemish. Well, somebody had to told you had a blemish in order to sell you something, right? So what the man wants though is he's not marrying the I'm just using this. I'm not against makeup or nothing. I'm not, listen to me. So he's not marrying the makeup, right? Because you get a hug, that'll come off on your clothes. But he needs to you need to understand how men think. The women, you looking good for the women like that most of the time. It's not the men. The women get together and say, this is what you need, this, you need that, you need this foundation, you need that. Some of that stuff you can't even sweat on, right? Your face was there your pores are there to sweat. Now I'm not gonna get into a lot of this, right? But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, that's not there. Our forefathers, they didn't. Now, it was always a form of beauty. We can look through history and say that. So I'm not saying on where Iran, I'm not saying on where, please understand what I'm saying. I'm saying what a no, what when I not so much that you add normal if you don't believe this, but on a whole of men, we really not that's fine, but that's not really what we are connecting to, right? You need to understand that when we see somebody and we see somebody that they on the naturalist part as possible. Oh man, you talking about beautiful. Woo! Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. That is on a whole nother level.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. That's on a whole nother level. Now and when I
Praise
have to
God.
guess what I am approaching, then that's different. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing at it because it is not you. So take that on how I know it. Just take that in a power up moment. The things that we'll be saying, is in a power up moment, but hopefully that will help you. And what's really important, let me before we get ready to close it and give you something to really think about a power up moment too, is really what's important. It's not what all of the men think about you, but it's what your husband think, right? And so sometimes other men may see you and they say,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah.
well, but it doesn't matter about how other men perceive you. Once you get married, then it's all about how your husband desires you, because you care less about whatever somebody else do. And that all of the girls get together, you care less about what they do. You say, this is what my husband like, right? And then of course you get somebody come along, you need to wear what you want to wear. Covenant folk are not like that. It doesn't work like that. And so it is beauty in this. It is always beauty in this. So it's just something to think about, in that. And then of course men, it's the same way. It's the same way. But we were talking about Proverbs 30, 31, and we're lifting up mighty women of Yah. We lifting them up, in that. And the only way that you can be oppressed is the fact that you are mingling with the nation. If you get yourself set apart, this won't be no thing, because all of the women should be doing the same thing when it comes to their husband, right? And when I say the same thing, I'm saying everything should be that, right? And so all of those things should be there, and it's very, very, very important. And we should celebrate our women. We should celebrate those things. All right, brother, did you have a closing statement? I think we will kind of hit maybe some more next week. But if you had a closing statement, that's fine.
I just wanted to second what you said, and I think it was very well worded. Because as like you said, as men, we say things, and you know, it could be, how can I say, we're we have an opinion, and it's coming from a righteous place.
Yes.
You have a righteous opinion, and I love what you said, because that's 100% true. The natural you is the beautiful you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that right there, you nailed it. You nailed it. The nations have really marketed everything towards the woman,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because she's the prize. But you
Right.
gotta
Right.
you gotta be caught by the right, by the you want the right one to catch your attention. Let the right thing captivate you. That's the way. You're the prize, you're the jewel, you're the treasure. And when you had said that, I think the last thing was a verse 30 that says, "Loveliness is deceptive, and prettiness is vain. A
Mm-hmm.
woman who fears Yahweh is to be praised." Because the key to that is the fear of the Father is beautiful. When you see it on a righteous woman, it's an amazing thing. So
Oh yeah.
I love what you said right there. That was awesome.
Absolutely, man. And the same thing with today, and I see a lot of things going on with the men. Like I say, is if I would say color my say if I come power up next time and my beard is all black, right? And then say, my wife, I'm married and everything. Say my wife said, "Oh, I like the black beard." Then we get married, and then she find out it turns out like this, right? No, she didn't like me just because of the black beard, but it drawed me to that place. Right, and it's the same thing now. They painting men's. They didn't used to do this, but the
Yeah,
hairline. You want,
the
yeah,
hair.
yeah, not, yeah. So so the thing is, you don't know what you're getting, right? You don't know what you're getting. It's okay, if you're losing it, right? It's okay. But anyway, that's that. Maybe we'll say that for next time. In that, but I'm just saying, now that it go into the men, that you don't know what you're getting either, And the thing is, women are kind of different sometimes, and when they looking for something or certain things in that, it may not always be what we think about the women, right? That's when I was saying about the same thing with my wife or whatever, about some women, if not, maybe some of the sisters, we can drag them on the power up or something, in that most of the men we trying to get some more here and power up, and they working in different things, but that's okay, and that's what the way that it should be. So if we do have we do open our hearts and open things up to power up to the women too. So we're not assembly that we lift up our women, not to. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I'm not gonna go
You
there.
had mentioned those proverbs that the women put in Signal this week. They were on fire.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
yes, sir.
absolutely, absolutely, and we'll probably go over some of those. I know it on the Sabbath or whatever, but yeah, they was falling in there, and just and I think most of you got excited. I at least wanted one, but most of you got excited and was putting them in daily. So that's always good because our hearts was going in the same vein, the same unity of things that's in that. So and I can say that that we do have some women that are jewels, you know, and in that. So they are viable women like that. So I guess if some of the men heard that, they get, but they want valuable men too, though, right? They desire that, right? So I mean, just
Man,
yeah, you just can't come, in that because life is just that. It's just life. So grateful to the Most High, and again, hopefully it was some power up moments, and there will be some more earlier. I guess when you, I don't, I'm not like how many of you, man. I'm not like that in a way, but I just like to see where this goes when you talk about the women. They don't want
oh yeah,
but anyway,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
and
yes,
and and
sir.
it says it. Let me see, I may say this. Let me see if I can I know I had it. I'm having those
I saw
thoughts.
you
That's the
had a
reason
couple up there.
yeah. I just kind of put that. If I you Timothy needs to be explained, so I just wanted the first part.
Yes.
I wasn't talking about keeping them silent. I didn't want to go there,
Oh
because
yeah.
you that ain't when you open it up, you'll find out that ain't what it was talking about.
That's not
But
what he
anyway,
said.
yeah. But I didn't want to. There's so many things. I didn't want to go there, but I didn't want to put that on display either. We had talked about some older women, and I know we're going to length. That's all right. That most they have left us already. The older women likewise, right? It said the older women likewise. So even when you're young, you always have a responsibility. Use this word again. The purpose of that, you have that are to be set apart. Now, how are they are to be set apart, right? In what is that word? Because brother, they'll say I put that in there. What does that say? Can you see that?
Yes, sir. It says in behavior.
Oh, in
So
behavior. Oh, so that's like an example, right?
yes,
So if so what I'm saying is you have to be set apart, not just on what you're wearing, but in your behavior. You can't be slanderous, right? Not slanderous. And it goes to the old women. You say, well, the old women like that. They said, don't do it. Not giving it too much wine. So you can't be a drunkard, you know. It talking about the older women right here. See this? It said older women, right? Not giving it too much wine. You can go ahead and drink, get you a sip, but don't be a drunkard, right? And then it says what? Because they'll say I put that in there. Let me see. You got your glasses on?
yes, sir.
Maybe.
I
Uh
do.
huh.
It says teachers of what is good.
Teachers of what? I didn't hear you.
What is
Kind of.
good?
You might be
Teachers of
breaking
what is
up. You might be breaking up. Teachers. Teachers
good.
of what is good. This is the who is this? This the older women, right? Whatever you want to put that in. Most time my scriptures kind of put it around 60 or so, but according to how you want to do it, right?
Mhm.
This is what we ought to have set apart in your behavior. Not just set apart on your long dress, but set apart in your behavior, right? So
Yes.
you have to do that because you're an example. You shouldn't be slandering nobody, right?
That's what I was
Other
about to
words, we
say.
didn't went through this. And
Yes.
listen, just because you older, this is bonus round. So those of you that says please hang in there. This is bonus round. I appreciate your wife too. I know. Just give me a little bit. I know she has the children and she has to maintain, but this is a bonus round, okay? And in order to do, first you have to do this, my brother, right here. You have to do this. Then it says in order, right? In order for them to train the young women, right? So, other words, I'm looking at it as a qualifications. So I have to be set apart in my behavior, not just because I'm old. You got some old fools, whether it's men or women. You right? Not giving it too much wine. And then I'm not. You can also teach things that's not good, right? So just sometimes the elders, well, that's good, but you got some foolish elders. Right? So in order to train the younger women, what it said, and the only reason I'm bringing this up because I said it earlier, to love their husbands because they have already did it, right?
Yes.
So you understand? They didn't write the book to tell you to do it. They have already did it, and when you go to them and you say, "Oh, my husband, he just," and go to him and talk to him about your husband or something, because they should always be this, already be this. Don't go to anybody. They should be in already in their behavior. So if they slanderers and all that, don't even go to them. So you can't go to everybody. You got to know who to go to, right? You got to know who to go to, and they are examples in order for them to train up young women. Because I tell you, I done seen a lot of older women. They just way somewhere where you shouldn't be. Even the younger women can't even look up to them. But anyway, they don't like their husband, right? They not
Yes.
that 31 woman. So I'm talking about discover. They would bring out the treasures of what it is. And they say, well, honey, this is what you need to do. Just do this and be patient. He's like that, right? And then even to love their children. To love their
Understand.
children also. You understand? Because they already had children, right?
Yes.
So they already been through that. Say, yeah, I've been through that. I know what you're talking about, in that, and then they said be subjected to the it's suitable and the blameless. But I want to jump here. We got time, and your own because they have already did it. So don't tell, too many times we get a hold to older women that have not did this first. There's some things that you have to do first, right? And in order, listen, it says here, in order for the word of Elohim is not evil
Not
spoken of, right?
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So we should be an example, right? So
Yes.
we should have the older women should be, close to this 31. Like I say, I was reading something. There's no woman like that. Well, okay, y'all, all right. They say, oh, that's
Maybe
talking
for
about
them.
wisdom. Okay, but this here is talking about being set apart in your behavior, right? That's what this was talking about, right? Be set apart, right? Not giving it too much wine, right? The other words, you don't be a drunkard, because you can't teach straight. You can't. Your vision is blocked. You know, so you teaching good things. You're teaching good things. And I know I'm I just want to bring that home. I want you to get that in your heart. And I know that maybe sometimes of the length of it, people may have already. But I'm gonna tell you, the heart of this is very very critical because we are losing our younger women, right? We're losing them. We're losing them. I see it, not by the tens, but by the tens of thousands, right?
Oh,
You
wow.
know, and then I'm not just talking about the nation, but I'm talking about the one that's in covenant. You losing them. They got all these ideals. You know why they got all ideal? Because the older women are like that, right? The older women are not setting no example. I done seen it, my brother. I've been doing this a long time, right? And this is what we have to do. Not all, but this is what we have to do. So I don't want to think even in part two, or I'm just talking to say the married women, because this is just not about marriage. So okay, I'm not married. I don't want to be married, so I don't want to. No, no. We need this because if you're older women, you got to know what to teach them, right? You got to know what to teach them in that. So in that. So it's very, very important in that. So I think that the Father will bring those things out suitable in that, in order that the word of Elohim. All right. We don't want nothing evil spoken of. We have to show ourselves as examples in all matters. It could go on because that said then that you know the old man, and then he gets into that. This is culture here. This is our culture here. So if you want the flavor of the culture, go ahead and read the second chapter here. All right, brother. We're gonna get ready to have a part two on that. Thank you, all of you that's in the room. Thank you if you're still there, and then those of you not in the room but still there. Hey, all glories. And if you are a woman of Yah, we give you all the honor. We
Yes.
give you the honor on that because you are honorable women.
And
If you're
worthy to
doing the
be
thing,
praised.
worthy. So if you are there, you're worthy, and we love our wives so very much, but we also love the women of Yah so very, very
Hallelujah.
much. Hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, my
So
brother, we're
grateful.
gonna. Yes, yeah. So we'll wrap it up, and hopefully we can. You can be with us again on next week. In that, and if the Father say the same, maybe we'll carry some more things on. So we'll do those things. And if you have any questions or anything, just here's another thing. And I should have dropped this earlier, but I drop it now. If you have any question, anything, this is the website. So you go to B'nai Israel, and then your number 12.com is what you would put in. And then you will find yourself here. So to contact us will be right here. You just click on that. Let me just go ahead and make that solo. Just click on this and you can contact us. So if you want me to next week to address something about marriage or have a topic or something like that, just go ahead and send an email to us, right? And then if you click on that, send us an email. If you click here, then this box will come up here. Just go ahead and send us an email with the question that you have on there, right? And in 24, we're going to be doing a lot more. We hadn't did a lot addition to the website, but we will by having a lot more the homeschooling. And if you want that's homeschooling and stuff like that, you're going to be able to contact some people. It's not like we was here and we realized the lack of sometime assistance or the lack of encouragement and help that we can receive, right? So just go ahead and do that, and just drop that, and then on those questions on next week, then we'll try to get something in there. So we won't. I won't use your email or nothing else for anything else, right? You won't get. I won't put you down for newsletters or nothing like that. This is just in case you have a question or something like that. And after that, I will not not bother you unless you do an email unless it needs a response to something or you have a different question, but not to send you no. We call it junk mail is what we call it, right? No matter where it come from,
Bam.
without a relationship. So yes, ma'am. Say, yeah, we won't do that. Okay, I won't do that in that. So those are some of the bonuses if you're still with us in that, and so grateful for you. And again, just B'nai Israel would be one word. You have to put in number 12 though in order to receive where we are at in that. And of course, we're Talmudim of Yeshua. So thank you so very, very much again, my brother. And we're gonna try this again. I've been trying this for about 20 minutes now, but I think we can get it done.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, brother. Shalom.